Hi guys. Oh goodness, so it's been a long time since I've done a Reborn video, I think, and so I'm finally gonna get these babies out of their Christmas outfits, and I'm going to be dressing them. Hi Riley. Gonna be dressing them in outfits that I will want them to wear in a new group picture that I'm taking. Riley! Riley! Come here. Come here. Yeah, the sun is out. Maybe I can put the chair near the door for you so you can sit in the sun. Okay, after. Yeah. I think that's what you want. He likes to sit. Sometimes we'll put one of the chairs from our island in front of the front door so that he can kind of look out the window and get the sun. We don't really do it during the winter because it lets cold air in, but it's actually warming up a bit this week, thank God. This winter seems to be never ending. Even though technically it started late, in my opinion. Like, we had pretty mild weather up until, I would say, maybe just after Christmas or beginning of January. So we've really only had like really bad winter weather for the past 2 months. Almost 3 now since we're mid-March. But this week, 2 of our days, Thursday is supposed to go up to 11 degrees Celsius and Friday is supposed to be 9. So I'm looking forward to that, hoping that I can get outside during those 2 days because it's going to drop back down a little bit after that, but I want to enjoy those nice warmer days. Yes, that's warm for us, because I have been cooped up in this apartment pretty much since my last day of work, which was February 8th. I've only been out, I think I went out once with Marilyn to the mall. Then one time she came over here. I went out once to see the encore version of A Star is Born. I've been out to my sister-in-law's bridal shower. Alex and I got out this weekend to do some shopping. But other than that, I've pretty much been staying inside out of the cold and snow and ice. And I want to get out into the sun. But anyways, like I said, I need to get these guys into some new outfits because I'm going to be doing a new group photo of me and the babies. And it's going to be a surprise. You guys won't get to see it until the IAC doll show. So anyone that has, I can't think, anyone that has tickets, the 3-day VIP conference passes, and you can still buy those online, by the way. You have to buy them ahead of time online. I'll link to the doll show's website in the description below. But anyone that has the 3-day conference pass can attend my meet and greet, which will take place on the Friday and Saturday of the show, which is, oh, I always forget if May goes until the 30th or 31st. I think it's the 31st. So May 31st and June 1st are my meet and greet days. And I'm going to be taking a new group photo of me and the babies that's going to be exclusive for my meet and greet. So anyone that comes to my meet and greet will receive the picture. So it will not be released until then. So I got to get these guys in it because I really got to get this picture taken this weekend so I can send it to the show to print for me. Make sure that's done. So I don't know, I've kind of decided that I want to go for sort of, because the show's at the end of May, I kind of want to go for like a spring dress up sort of theme, I think. So I kind of want to go for like little, you know, plaid, like kind of dressier shirts for the boys. But I also want to combine it with a little bit of casual. So I was thinking of doing overall sets for the boys, but with sort of dressy shirts underneath is what I'm hoping to do. And then the girls will be in dresses. And then I haven't decided what I'm going to do. I don't know if I don't really have many dresses. The only dress I could think of is the new one I recently bought for a wedding we went to, but I think it's a little too dressy. Plus I'll be sitting on the floor, so I don't know if I want to have a dress. So I might just do a nice top and pants kind of within the color scheme I'm thinking. I don't really know. I haven't totally planned it. But I want my babies looking nice and sort of spring-like since it's kind of a spring show. Yeah, so let's get started. All of my babies are going to need major baths as well. So he's going to be getting well, actually, maybe I should take his clothes off first because the clothes are probably dusty and then they'll get his face dusty. So I think that's kind of where we should start. These poor babies have been in there. The only ones that have been changed are Yuki, Maya, maybe Haley, Maisie, and Joshua. But they're not in outfits for the photo shoot. They're just in outfits I had changed them in. So all of my babies need to be changed into stuff. Now I didn't pick out any shoes yet for them to wear, or for him to wear with this. I'll probably just give him some like white shoes or something like that I'll throw on later. I tend to like to throw on the shoes at the last minute so that I can see everyone's outfits as a whole and then kind of match up shoes at the end. Anyways, guys, I just thought it would be a good opportunity while I'm changing some babies to kind of like catch up with you guys because I really haven't been making very many videos lately, as I'm sure you've noticed, and I know I have had some people ask about it and ask if I'm okay. Oh gosh, first and foremost, I've got to be quite honest and say that I just have not really felt the drive or passion to make videos like I used to. And you know, I don't want to stop I don't want like to stop making videos. I just lately have not had the desire to make videos. And there's a couple of reasons why. The main one is, to be quite honest, I've been really disheartened with a lot of things going on in the community. Now, I don't really follow a ton of like drama or anything, but I do catch wind of various things here and there, and I don't really delve too deep into them. I'll just hear of them in passing, or, you know, some channels that I subscribe to will, you know, occasionally make videos about drama in the community or whatever. And, you know, I just sort of like listen to it, but I don't really take part or whatever. But even if I try to avoid like seeing or hearing about the drama on YouTube, it's there on Instagram, and even now I've noticed it's trickling onto Facebook groups. any like sort of doll groups I'm in on Facebook. I've seen some drama going down in those, and it's really, honestly, I've tried not to let it do this, but unfortunately it's had an effect on my feelings towards the hobby. I really am trying to not let it affect it, because I love my hobby and I love my dolls, but I just, like, I haven't had the desire to play with my dolls, change my dolls, even like when I'm not making a video, like just outside of, you know, just on my own. I just haven't had the pull to interact with my dolls very much these days. As you can see, I am sort of like more into the American Girls as of lately and collecting their stuff. But even with them, like, I haven't had, excuse me, I don't know, my throat's all of a sudden. I just haven't had the desire to change them. Like, I'll just get them and display them, and it's kind of like, okay. I've also myself been burned recently in this doll hobby. And I'm not going to get into the specifics. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to do any of that. That's not who I am. But I have been sort of, I've felt used. I've felt a little screwed over recently. And I've had a situation where someone has sort of started to come between a friend and I, which has been really disheartening, because this friend is someone who I consider a very close friend, who I've known for many years. And it's a bit disheartening that someone they've known a lot less than they have me, they're sort of taking this person's side over mine and not even wanting to hear my side of things. And you know, this is not new. This is not new in the community. Oh my goodness, he's got Riley hair embedded in his body. Sorry, I got my lint brush out because everything is gonna have to be lint brushed, but Landon, I'm thinking you need a new diaper, bud. It's getting a little ratty looking. Yeah, so that has been something that I've seen going on a lot in the community. It's not the first time I've experienced it. I've been used by another person in the community as well at some point, and I've seen it happen to other people. I've seen it happen a lot, and it's extremely disheartening. I'm not gonna lie. It's really left a bad taste in my mouth, and it's really hampered my enjoyment of the hobby. You know, like making videos, coming to YouTube, it's supposed to be my creative outlet. It's supposed to be, I should really get my boppy lounger out. Hopefully you guys can still see okay. Because he's just going to keep sliding all over the place. I really should get my boppy lounger. Anyway, I just need to move his arms out of the way so I can get this diaper fastened, because his arms keep slipping down in my way. Oh, struggles of diapering a real baby when they squirm all over the place. Okay, now this is like caught on here. Yeah, so that's a big part of it. On top of that, some of the comments I was starting to receive on my videos were starting to get to me as well. And I generally don't let comments get to me. And to be quite honest, like comments like, oh, you're crazy, why are you playing with dolls, blah, 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 blah. That kind of stuff doesn't bother me anymore. Like, I've dealt with those types of comments for so many years that I just laugh them off now. Those kind of comments, I don't give a crap about. They can say what they want. But the comments that I was starting to get were comments insulting my husband, comments about my weight, comments about my health and trying to say I was faking things. I've received stuff like that, and that kind of stuff, it really gets to me. I've had comments about my chin, which I've talked to you guys about. That is one of my biggest insecurities. I know a lot of people seem to think that I'm a very confident person because that's sort of how I portray myself on camera, but I'm really not. I'm actually a very insecure person. I have extremely low self-esteem, and I have since I was in grade school because I was bullied every freaking day of my life. And I've been called every name in the book, and that stuff stays with you. And, you know, I never had weight issues as a kid. I was a very extremely skinny kid. But my chin, it's to do with my bite, and it's essentially a deformity because arthritis was growing in my jaw and it caused my bite to be off. And I think it's called an overbite from it. Overbite or underbite? No, overbite. And so yeah, I don't have much of a chin. Then you add on, when you're on steroids for a better part of, gosh, okay, well, Alex and I have been married almost 10 years now. So I've been diagnosed with lupus for 9 years. And out of those 9 years, I would say 7 to 8 of those years I've been on steroids. When you're on steroids for that long of a period, you gain weight. It is what it is. I try my best to eat healthy. I try, you know, and also when you're dealing with fatigue and joint pain, your physical activity level goes down. So that paired with steroids, you're going to gain weight. And you get what's called moon face. And it's all water retention in your face. So that, when I was having that happen from the steroids, that just makes my chin look 10 times worse. It is what it is. I mean, I even had Margaret, when I was still taking care of the girls, I even had Margaret sometimes ask me where my chin was. Because I had such moon face that my already barely existent looking chin when I'm skinny was pretty much gone. And so anyways, but that to say, I've been off steroids since November now, and I've lost 11 pounds. And I haven't really done much except I'm eating a lot less because when you're on steroids, you're constantly hungry. Now that I'm not, my appetite has really dropped. So I'm not eating as much. And as usual, I try to mostly eat fruits and vegetables throughout the day. Healthy stuff. Now that we don't have any Christmas chocolate left in the house, there's no junk food in here. But anyways, it was really starting to affect me, these types of comments. And also comments, like I said, I was getting like nasty comments about Alex. And that really bothered me as well. Like, people were like making assumptions about us and our marriage and our relationship. And it was just like, you know what? Like, you people don't even freaking know us. I barely show Alex on camera because, like, he's okay being on camera from time to time, but he does not want to be on my channel all the time. Like, we are not going to be family vloggers or whatever. That's just not something he's into. He doesn't mind making appearances from time to time, but he doesn't want to be shown a ton. And I respect that. And, you know, like, it just really was starting to get to me. So between that and the state of things I've seen happen in this community, things I've had happen to me in this community, I just honestly was not having much interest at all in the community or in the hobby. And even now it's a struggle. Like, you know, I'm really, you know, doing this because I need to get this picture done, but I'm not 100% feeling it. Also, I wanted to get it done because obviously I want Landon in the picture, but I also want to contact his artist about fixing up some of his paint. But I wanted him to be in the picture before I send him off. So that's another reason. But it's just been really frustrating in that aspect. On top of that, I'm sure that all of that plays a part in this, but I don't think it's entirely part of this. I haven't really been doing well emotionally. I don't always like to talk about that stuff, but when it comes to my lupus journey and stuff, I've always said I want to document the good and the bad, but I haven't really done that lately. I have just not, especially in the last 2 weeks, I have not been good emotionally. Especially last week. Last week was really, really bad. I don't know what was going on, but I literally felt like crying like every day. Like, any little thing would set me off crying. And I literally, like, had to force myself to get up and get stuff done because I just wanted to, like, stay in bed. I just was feeling really depressed, really emotional. I kind of know some of the reasons why, and some of them I'm not really sure. Part of it, like I said, has to do with things in the community and things with people and friends. And some of it has to do with comments I had been getting. And some of it has to do with being stressed about having to find a new job. Some of it has been just frustrations with my health. It seems like every few months I go through the mourning process again. And yeah, I should have probably done this in like a lupus video, but I kind of wanted to just get babies changed at the same time. But where is his brush? Basically, when you have a chronic illness, you mourn the person that you were before you were sick. You mourn the person that was healthy, had energy, could do whatever you want to do, whenever you wanted to do it, didn't have to think things through, didn't have to strategize how you were going to do certain things. And so it's like every few months I go through the mourning process. And I don't really know how to explain it, but it'll just, I think, sorry, this is like so all over the place. I think it's mostly that with each year, because I feel like it kind of tends to hit me around my birthday, or like a couple months after my birthday is when it'll hit me. It's like I'm a year older, and I always think about, I don't want to start crying. I start thinking about our first year of marriage. I don't know why I always think about that, but, and I know I try not to think about it or dwell on it, but it's like, you know, when we got married, like, I always look at our wedding day, and it was literally like the best day of my life. And it was pretty much the last day that I remember feeling healthy, happy, and full of energy. And I started getting sick when we got back from our honeymoon. Like, I was okay on our honeymoon, but I could tell something was off. Like, for one thing, I was jet lagged as hell. Because going to Paris will do that to you. And then we were just out walking like all day long, and so my body was like hurting, but I thought, oh, it's just because we've been doing so much walking, and I'm not used to like walking like all day every day. Then we got back home, and it just progressively started to get worse, and it took almost the entire first year of our marriage before we found out that it was lupus. And for that whole year, I was like in so much pain and so fatigued and so swollen. My joints were so swollen, I could barely walk. Alex would have to literally lift me out of bed, lift me off the couch, lift me off the toilet. Like, it was like once I sat down, I could barely get up. I had trouble lifting my arms above my head to like put a shirt on. Sometimes I needed him to help me dress myself. Like, it was awful. And it's frustrating that it took so long to get a diagnosis. And, you know, it's like when we got married, like, I just feel like I was gypped. I feel like I was cheated out of, you know, the honeymoon phase where, you know, we're happy and, but instead I was so sick, and we just like could barely enjoy our first year of being married, and it sucks. And I know I can't get that back, but it's just something that at least once a year, maybe twice a year, I think about, and I get so mad. I just get really angry. And I just mourn the person I was. And I've learned that this is pretty normal, because I'm in various lupus support groups on Facebook, and people have talked about it there before. So I know I'm not alone in going through that, but I've been dealing with that, and dealing with the fact that I am not where I wanted to be in life. You know, my whole dream for my life was like get married and save up for a couple of years, get a house, have kids, and none of that has happened. And I don't think it ever will. I'm 37. The clock is ticking. And I just feel like it's not going to happen. With me only being able to work part-time, our income is limited. Riley, 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 come here. Come. Our income is limited, and housing out here is just so expensive. And it's just like to even get into a place that we could even afford, let alone afford it and afford raising a kid, is just like, I don't even know. So I just have not been in a good emotional place the last few weeks to a month over all these various things. And then to add on top of it, my uncle, my favorite uncle, who's also my godfather, he was, for those who are new to my channel and don't know, I had a cousin named Brittany who passed away when she was 16 from cystic fibrosis. Well, this uncle is her father. This family has been through so much with losing Brittany. You know, him and my aunt lost their daughter. They have another daughter who's a year older than Brittany was. But my aunt had to have a kidney transplant many years ago as well, before Brittany passed away. So they've dealt with cystic fibrosis, they've dealt with kidney disease, and now my uncle has been diagnosed with cancer, and it's stage 4, and it is colon cancer, but it has spread all throughout his liver, and so he is going to be having to start chemo. He's going to have, I believe they said 6 months of chemo, and then they're going to see if, as long as the cancer hasn't spread anywhere else and they've been able to control the cancer in his liver, then they're going to be able to go in and remove the colon cancer. And then they are going to try to look into a liver transplant. But they know that the odds are really not good. It's stage 4, and the odds are not good. So I've been also trying to process that, because I grew up with a dad who wasn't very present in my life. He didn't live with me, and he just wasn't there very often. I mean, I saw him every second Saturday, but even when we did get together, sometimes we would just go to his apartment and he would literally just sit there and watch wrestling and car racing while I sat there bored out of my mind. Occasionally he would take me to like Chuck E. Cheese or go-karting or like miniature, Collins Gardens Miniature Village, which sadly is no longer here in Canada anymore, in Ontario. I loved that place so much, and I really wish it still existed because I would love to do a video of it to show you guys. It was an amazing garden type place that had a miniature village throughout it. Just miniature little shops and buildings, and they did a lot of miniature versions of things in Toronto. Like they had a miniature Canadian National Exhibition in there. They had a mini version of a strip of downtown Toronto where they, at Christmas time, would even set up a mini Santa Claus parade on there. They had, yeah, the miniature version of the CNE even had like the rides, like the Ferris wheel and roller coasters, and the little what are those called, the like sky ride thing. It was incredible, guys. It had even like a miniature building that was like on fire. Like it had like a controlled fire constantly, like with flames shooting out of the top, and it had like a little miniature fire truck in front of it that would be putting out the fire or whatever. It had a little miniature lake with little boats that would go across it. It had a miniature train track that would go all throughout and would go in hills and everything. And oh my gosh, it was just so beautiful. I really am sad that they closed it and it's no longer there, because I just would love to show you guys that in a video. But yeah, anyways, my dad wasn't very present, and so for me, my uncle Ron was someone that I really looked up to as a father figure, especially before his girls were born. When we would get together as a family, he would always play with me. He would give me horsey rides. He would tickle me. I mean, like, he is literally like the most amazing man in my life that I know. I mean, other than Alex, obviously, but I'm just saying, like, growing up for me, he was who I kind of looked to as a model of a great man. So I really am praying for him that things go well and that he can have a transplant and be fine. But it's scary to think of the possibility of losing him, and he's still young. He's I believe he just turned 60 last year. So and he's been very, very worried about my grandma, because he takes care of so many things with my grandma. He takes her to her doctor's appointments. He manages her money. He manages, because my grandma's memory is getting worse. He keeps track of when all of her appointments are, makes sure she gets to them. And when they go to the doctors, he goes in with her and he writes down everything the doctor says so that he knows exactly what's going on, because my grandma won't remember what's said in the doctor. And he is just very, very worried about her. So what's basically happened at this point is my grandma has agreed to go on a list for long-term care facilities. They've picked their top 4 choices and got her on a list. They're going to put her in a private room first, because the wait list for that is shorter. So they're hoping that she can get into one of them within the next year. And then that way my uncle won't have to worry, because these places are kind of like a hospital in a sense, in that all of her doctors would be in there, so she wouldn't have to leave to get to her doctor's appointments, and the nurses would come and get her to take her to her doctor's appointments. So it would be one less thing for him to worry about. And then obviously, you know, we've all said that we would all chip in when and if needed, like if she needs help going to get something at the store, we'll take her, or, you know, we'll take turns visiting her. Like, he doesn't need to worry about that. So yeah, anyway, so that's basically what's been going on. I had plans that while I'm job hunting, I was gonna make videos every day again, but I just have not been in the emotional mindset to do it. And I also, now that I'm not working and I don't have to be up at like the crack of dawn, I've been taking advantage of that and getting extra sleep, because I don't sleep well at night. I haven't since we got married. And that's because, like, mainly because of pain. When you're sleeping in bed and, you know, you go to sleep in one position, next thing you know, you're waking up in pain from being in that position and not moving. So then you have to shift to a new position, and you're there for like a little while, and then you have to shift again and shift again. Like, it's all night, you're just shifting and trying to get comfortable. And I will sleep for like a half hour, wake up, sleep for maybe an hour, hour and a half, wake up. And it's just been like that since then. And I mean, I have sleeping pills, but I'm not supposed to take them every night. So I would usually only use them when I had work the next day, or if I was in really, really bad pain before going to bed and I knew it was going to be a bad night, I would take them to kind of help a little bit. But sometimes the pain still wakes me up, even if I've taken a sleeping pill. And so, you know, like, I've been trying to go to bed earlier, hoping that it would be enough sleep that I could get up at a decent time in the morning and get things done, and do things like videos. But it's, even when I go to bed early, I think also with like the emotional aspects that I've been dealing with, like, I will go to bed and I will lay there and my brain won't shut off. Like, I'm thinking about anything and everything and my brain doesn't shut off, and it takes me like an hour and a half before I can actually fall asleep. Then starts the cycle of pain all night. Like, my pain levels during the day have been really good, which has been wonderful. Like, my pain levels during the day have been great. But, yeah, my pain levels have been keeping me up at night, because I will fall asleep in one position and then I'll wake up with like neck pain, back pain, major aching in my legs, and I'll have to roll over and switch a position. Then I'll fall back to sleep, and it's just like this cycle. And so when I wake up, you know, Alex usually wakes me up before he goes to work so that I can take my pills and say bye to him. And I feel like I've been hit by a truck. Like, my eyes are gritty and dry because I still deal with the dry eye. Hi, buddy. And I feel like I've been hit by a truck. And I feel like I haven't slept at all night. And so I've been basically then just rolling over and trying to go back to sleep and get extra sleep. And I'll be sleeping till like 11, 12, 1, sometimes even 2. And then I finally just force myself to get up because I'm hungry and I have meds to take, and then it's just like, it's so late in the day that like by the time I get myself up and moving and going, it's like close to having to start to make dinner. So it's just, it hasn't been good. Plus, you know, I also have been having to job hunt in there as well. So it's like, you know, I do job hunting, and the next thing you know, like I said, it's time to make dinner. So I just haven't had the desire, drive, or time really to make videos. So yeah, that's basically what's been going on and why the lack of videos. But in amongst it, I have found some joy. Since I've been out of work and I've been home, and like I said, I've been feeling, other than feeling super fatigued and tired and wanting to sleep all the time, my body feels good. My shortness of breath has been better. In fact, the last time I saw my respirologist, my CT scan showed improvements, which is great. It also ruled out, I had a echocardiogram that ruled out pulmonary hypertension, because they were worried that I was getting that, because apparently lupus can cause that too. But ruled out that, and looks like some of the damage that was being done to my lungs by lupus has improved. So that's great. So the next step is I have to see my heart specialist, because they want to make sure that the shortness of breath isn't related to my heart issues. Once we get the clear that everything's stable with my heart, then basically they want to try seeing like if I can start doing a little bit of exercise. Like my respirologist has told me not to start any yet, because they want to make sure that I'm not in any danger by doing so. But once I get the clear, I can start doing some light exercise and just kind of like start to build up, which I'm really looking forward to. Especially now, if the weather's going to start getting nicer. I love going on walks around our neighborhood. For me, that's like my best exercise. Yeah. And I also have like a lupus exercise DVD that I do sometimes, or used to do, and I'd like to start doing that again. So that's kind of, you know, like my health has been pretty stable. So another thing that I've been doing over the past month is just focusing on my marriage. Like, don't take this the wrong way. Like, no, Alex and I don't have any problems. We have a solid marriage, and as shitty, excuse my language, as having lupus is, I think it has also strengthened us as a couple. But also, when you're in pain and you're fatigued and you're dealing with emotional stuff, you sometimes will isolate yourself. And so in terms of like, I don't know, like I think I have isolated myself to some extent from not just Alex, but people in my life, like family, friends. Because you just like, sometimes you just feel so crappy that you just don't want to deal with people. So I've been kind of like focusing on relationships, like calling my mom more, or spending more time with Alex as a couple. You know, things like that. We've been watching more movies together. Just spending more time together, because like now I can actually cuddle with him while watching TV without like being in excruciating pain, which has been great. Things like that. And so I kind of was like, you know, I don't really have the desire to make these videos, but the one thing that I can do is like focus on other things in my life, and, you know, just spend time with the people I love. I also have reignited my love in music. before I had dolls, like, music was my number one go-to for any emotion I was feeling. I could put on a song that totally expressed what I was feeling 100%, and it would help me get through that. And yeah, sorry, I know this video is going to be super long, but there's a lot to update you guys on, and if you don't want to listen to the end, that's fine. I always make these videos for myself first and foremost. It's kind of like therapy for me sometimes to just like talk crap out on camera. And the videos have been helpful too, in that I can go back and see what medications I was on when and how long I was on them for, and that's been helpful information to relay to my doctors sometimes. So it's nice to kind of have this video vlog or whatever log of my health journey. But anyways, I've just been really enjoying some music, and that's kind of been helping me a bit and has been bringing some joy to me, just listening to music. I got the new Avril Lavigne album. I love it. I got Star is Born on DVD, and I can't tell you how many times I've watched it. Like, oh my goodness. And I don't know, like, I've just been kind of focusing on what I need in the moment, I guess, and doing what I feel like I need to do to feel better emotionally. I don't even know if any of this makes sense to you guys, but it is what it is. I have not had any luck finding a job yet. I've applied to 4 different ones and haven't heard back from any of them. I was contacted by one lady through a nanny website that I'm signed up with, but at first, like, the hours she was wanting was not something I could do. But then she ended up contacting me again a few days afterwards and was kind of flexible and was able to change some of the days that she would need help. But I wasn't sure about the hours of one of the days, because one of the days it was going to be like kind of late. It was till like 8 p.m. and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that, like work that late into the night. So I was saying like I was going to think about it and whatnot. Then I realized how freaking close she is to me. She's like less than a half hour away from me, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is perfect. So I did contact her back saying that I'm interested and that I'm like super close, and it would be so nice to have like a short commute like that. And therefore, like, even if I worked till 8, I would be home before 8:30, and it's only like the one night a week that it would be that late. I mean, Alex could even pick me up from work or whatever, to save on bus fare. So it's like, oh my God. So I haven't heard back from her though, so I don't know if my hesitation screwed that one up. I'm still waiting to see, hopefully. I mean, it was yesterday that I emailed her, so hopefully I'll, you know, hear something soon. In the meantime, my unemployment insurance was approved, and I was a little shell-shocked to see how little I was going to be getting this time around, and that has caused me some stress because basically, after all of our bills are paid, money into savings, all that good stuff, we would literally have $40 left at the end of the month, which is not a lot, and that doesn't give us much wiggle room. So I was stressing about that, but yesterday Alex found out something at his work. So his coworker is going to have surgery. She is going to be off work for about 6 weeks. And so he has been asked to do her job in the meantime, and they had hired someone to take over Alex's job, and he was going to train them for that job. Unfortunately, something happened in this girl's family, like a family emergency. She can now no longer take over Alex's job. So he had the idea of me taking over, since it's only temporary. It's only for 6 weeks. Yes, it's full-time hours, but it's a desk job. It's doing computer work. And it pays really well. So, I thought it over, and I thought, you know what, if his boss will let me, like, I don't know, because we're married, and I don't know if that's like a conflict of interest or whatever, because we would literally be working side by side, like the desks are right beside each other. But I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And you know, I think it might be a good test, because it's been quite a few years since I've worked full-time. The last time I worked full-time was in a daycare center, though. And those were 9-hour-a-day shifts with a 1-hour lunch break in there. But that was with a room full of 15 kids, which is very physically demanding. Sitting at a desk all day might be easier for me. And I know a lot of people over the years have suggested that I look into doing that instead of nannying, but I always kind of felt like lupus has taken so much from me as it is. Like, it took away, you know, my ability to work full-time, I guess, or full-time in the field that I wanted to work in. It, you know, took away, like I said, it ruined like my first year of marriage, and it took away, like, pretty much took away the option to have kids. But you know, it took away our ability to get a house, move out, like all these things. And it even took my singing voice for a while. It even affected my singing voice. And that was like something I was completely devastated over, because music has always been a big part of my life. And like I said, it's always been my go-to as a form of therapy, really, like to sing and get my emotions out. And when I couldn't sing anymore, like, ooh, that I was extremely depressed at that time. I'm going to try to wrap this up soon though, guys, because I know this is a really long video. And if you've stuck around this long, I commend you and I thank you. But yeah, I just, I felt like it had taken so much from me. I didn't want it to fully take away my career. Like, I went through so much to finally complete my ECE in college. Like, I got sick my second year of college. That was probably my first lupus flare, although it went undetected at that time as being lupus, but it was my first lupus flare, and I had to drop out of my second year of college because I was so sick. And so I should have got my early childhood educator degree in 2 years, but it actually ended up taking me 4 years to get it. But I did it. I finished it, and I got it. And I was healthy from then until we got married. But, like, I fought so hard to get that diploma, and it was like I didn't want to give up working with kids completely, because I love it. I love working with kids, and it's like, since at this point it's most likely never going to happen that I'm going to be a mom, like, being a nanny sort of helps fill that void a little bit. And so it's like I didn't want to give that up. completely, because then I'd feel like I've given up everything. But since being presented with this opportunity of trying out a full-time desk job for the next 6 weeks, I'm actually really interested to see how I'll do, how I'll manage, and if maybe it is an option for me, because maybe, just maybe, maybe if I could do that, if I could work full-time in an office, that could potentially help us get our place that we want to move out to, and maybe be able to afford having a kid before it's too late. Like, I don't know. I feel like I don't want to jump the gun, and I don't want to get my hopes up. So I'm just having like a whole bunch of emotions, a whole bunch of thoughts. I'm nervous, but I'm also kind of excited. So yeah, with that said, if his boss gives it the go ahead that I can do this, I'll be starting next Monday. So there probably won't be a lot of videos for the next 6 weeks, because I'll be at work every day, all day, and probably won't get home until like 7:30. The nice part is I can drive with Alex, which would be great. Like, I'm excited about that. I won't have to deal with the bus. We can go there and home together. And it'll be kind of nice. Like, we'll see each other like all day. So, cause let me tell you, it gets lonely here when I'm at home by myself. Sorry guys, I'm all over the place. I'm emotional mess these last few weeks. But anyway, I do get lonely here. Riley's great company for me. And I worry about him too with his health, although he seems to be doing quite well. He has to go for some blood work in the next 3 weeks to check on his kidneys, but I think he's doing okay. But I worry about him because, like, if I lose him, which I know is inevitable, it's going to happen at some point. All pets have to die at some point. But I don't know what I'll do without my Riley, because he's my buddy. And, whew. Anyways, don't even want to go there right now. But anyways, it'll be kind of nice to be around not just Alex, but just people during the day. So I'm kind of looking forward to it, even though I'm also nervous because I don't know how I'll do health-wise, but we shall see. So yeah, I'm going to try to do some videos for the rest of this week, and maybe if I can over the next couple of days do like a few videos to go into next week would be great if I can push myself to do that. But yeah, just know that there probably won't be a lot of videos from me over the next 6 weeks, just because there's a good chance I'll be working full time. And it'll be good. It'll give us a lot of extra money that we can kind of save up. And then after that, I would probably have to go back on EI, which I know is not going to be a lot of money. So I'll be like going into full-blown mode of like trying to find a new job. But it'll just be interesting to see how this goes. It might give me another option for jobs, like, and at least I can put that on my resume that I've done some secretarial sort of work. So yeah, but I'll basically be doing Alex's job. So he'll teach me, like I'll go in on Monday and he'll teach me from like Monday to Tuesday, and then I'll officially start Wednesday because that's when his coworker leaves and he'll have to take over her job. But he said he'll literally be sitting right beside me. So if I need help, like if I'm not sure what to do or whatever, he can help me. So that'll be good. I won't have to deal with like any customers on the phone, thankfully, because I've heard several nightmare stories from him about customers on the phone. He hates dealing with customers on the phone. So as long as I don't have to deal with that, I'm good. But yeah, so that's about it. If you're still here, thanks so much. I know this is like a very long video, but I know it's been a long time since I've come on and talked to you guys and let you guys know what's going on. And I wanted to be honest, and hopefully going forward, I can start feeling a bit better emotionally, and continue to do well physically. If only I could just like figure out what the heck to do about the pain at night so I could actually freaking sleep. I've been trying to do like Advil before going to bed and Aleve, like naproxen. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. So I don't know. I might have to talk to my doctor the next time I go. But yeah, I'm gonna sign off now before I get into anything else. I'll save it for another video. I know someone asked me what, if I have any summer plans or trips planned. And I do. But I will save that for another video to talk about so that it's something positive in the next video to talk about. But thanks for listening to me if you've listened to this whole video, and we'll see you in the next video. Poor Landon's just sitting here like... This is what's nice about the dolls. They'll just sit there while you like yak on and on. They're not like real babies that'll be like, pay attention to me. But anyways, he's looking good. He's looking handsome. I'll just have to figure out some shoes that I want to go with this later. But I gotta end this video so I can get some more babies changed. Alright guys, well, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your support. Thank you for asking how I'm doing. Thank you for wondering where I am. Thank you for all of your beautiful comments on my cover of Is That All Right? My mom even absolutely loved it. Like, my mom often says negative things to me. Like, she'll say something positive but follow it up with something negative, but this time like I thought for sure she was gonna say, oh my gosh, you're seriously thinking of buying the encore version on DVD when you already have it on DVD, the original version. But no, she totally just like went off on how amazing my cover was. She said it made her cry. She said it made her think of my aunt and uncle and what they're going through with my uncle having cancer and everything. She said it made her think of Alex and I and how it could be our love song, which I totally think of Alex every time I sing that song. And I don't even know how I didn't bawl my eyes out singing it. But thank you for all of your comments on that. It made my day. I actually tried recording it the day before and burst into tears, so I was emotional and mess that day. So I waited until the next day to try recording it and managed to get through. But thank you so much, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Bye!